Welcome once again to this class. We want to look at the topic construction of sharp scales. The construction of sharp scales. Of course, we are familiar with scales, so we want to look at the one that has to do with the using of the sharp accidental. Now, let's begin by looking at what it entails. Construction of scales is the arrangement of notes in ascending or descending order of pitch on the staff. Of course, you know that when you are talking about construction of scales, the notes are going to be arranged on the staff in an ascending order or in a descending order. And then when we are referring to sharp scales, in this case, we are talking about scales that make use of the sharp accidental. And these scales are 7 in number. We have the one that make use of 1 to the one that make use of 7. Of course, you remember, just as we have sharp scales, also we have the one that uses the flats. They're equally 7 in number. Now, how do you construct the sharp scales? Now, there are 2 methods of constructing the sharp scales. The first one is with key signatures. With key signatures, that is, you have a knowledge of key signatures. And then the second one is without key signatures. So we are going to be looking at both of them in this lesson. Let's go to the first one, the sharp scales with key signatures. Now, what do we mean by sharp scales with key signatures? What we mean by sharp scales with key signatures is that the accidental, the sharp accidental, is placed at the beginning of the staff, following the clef sign to indicate the name of the key of the scale. So on the staff, after the clef, this sharp sign is placed there, depending on the keys representing the number we decide tell us the key. Okay, so once we place that sharp sign there, that tells us the key, and then we just put the notes to represent the scale. Now, before we do that, let's know that the very first kind of scale we have, we usually make reference to this because is the scale that does not have any of the accidentals. It does not use the sharp, it does not use the flat. And that kind of scale is called the C major. So we have the notes from C, and then being arranged in ascending order until it gets to the octave C, and that is C major for you. Okay, you see, after the clef sign, there's no accidental, there's no sharp there, there's no flat there, so that is an example of C major. Now let's go to the one that we now have, the very first sharp. So if it's going to be the very first sharp and we are going to be using the key signature, that means we are going to place just one sharp after the clef sign. And if we are going to do that, the key that uses one sharp is called G major. That means we are going to arrange the note from the note G on the staff till we get to the octave. That is G major. And then the next thing, remember, we are constructing the scale with key signatures. The next thing now, we have to place the accidental, the one sharp, in the right spot on the staff. And in this case, it's going to be on F. And that is that spot on F. So in doing this, we have just succeeded in constructing this scale and placing the sharp sign on the particular line indicating G major. We have another example. Let's take that of the other kind of scale, the key signatures that have more than one sharps. So we have looked at the first one, which is G. If we have a signature that has 2 sharps, how are we going to place it on the staff? So it's going to look like this, and the second sharp there is going to be placed on C. So, and the name of the key will be D major. So that means we equally arrange the notes on the line D, which is start from the line D and end on the octave also, and then we place those sharps in that order. And then if it's 3 sharps, it's going to be placed in this order. The first one will be on F, the second is on C, then the third, which is on G, that is the position of that sharp. And then if it's 4, the very fourth sharp will be placed on line D, just as you have it, and the key will be E. If it's 5th, we're only going to have the sharps placed in this order. The first one is on F. Don't forget, the second is on C. We have G, we have D. Then the 5th one now is going to be on A. And then if it's 6 sharps, 6 sharps is going to be in this order, where we have the very last sharp, the one that is coming out, is going to be on E, and the name of the sharp is F sharp major. All these are major keys. And then the final one is the scale that has 7 sharps, and that is C sharp, and the last sharp there is going to be on the line B. So these are the way we position the sharps on the staff. And then we just look at the name of the key and then arrange the notes from the first notes of that scale to the octave of that scale. And let's go to the second one, which is sharps scale without key signatures. How do we construct the sharp scales without key signatures? Now, first, let's know that the sharp scales without key signatures are sharps accidentals being placed before the note that is raised on the scale. Okay, so when we arrange the notes on the staff, this time we place the accidental before the note that is going to be raised. You know, the effect of a sharp is that it raises the note by a semitone. So we're going to have take this example, and let's not forget that it follows a pattern because we are looking at major scales, and the pattern is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So again, like I said, for the first sharp, of course, we know that it was in this order. When it was with key signatures, this is how it's going to be arranged. But now without key signatures, that means I'm going to remove the sharp after that clef sign, and I will put it along with the note that is arranged. So in this case, the sharp sign is going to stay by that note F on that scale, and that is how we represent the scale without key signatures. Now let's take one more example, which is D major. This scale uses 2 sharps, and then first and foremost we have the notes arranged from D to the octave of this staff. This is a treble staff, and then it uses 2 sharps. The very first sharp is going to be on F, while the second one will be on C. And so this time we are going to remove it from the position after the clef sign and bring it in their position. That first sharp is going to be there, while the second one will be by that note, indicating that these are the notes that are raised in this scale, and it follows the pattern of the scale: tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Okay, so this is how we construct every other scale or that is using sharp. So we just get them out, and thereafter we have them represented by the notes that they are going to be affecting on the scale. So in summarizing, let's look at the order of sharps and how the notes that they are affecting. If it's just 1 sharp, the sharp is going to be on F. If the scale is using 2 sharps, it's going to be on F and C. If it's 3 sharps, take note, it's going to be on F, C, and G. If it's 4 sharps, it's going to be on F, C, G, and then D. If it's 5 sharps, the first sharp will be on F, C, second on C, the third on G, the fourth on D, and the fifth on A. If it's 6 sharps, we have them in this order: F, C, G, D, A, E. And if it's 7 sharps, F, C, G, D, A, E, and B. So it's an order, so you need to understand this order of sharps. If you know all 7, that means you can equally find the other placement of the sharps if they are less than 7. Now, what are the names? Please take note that this order of sharp is not the name of the key. It's just where the sharps are placed. But from the position where they are placed from the order of sharps, you can easily find the name of the key. Well, we'll look into that. Now, let's just find the name of these ones. If it's 1 sharp, it's going to be called G. Now, you are going to observe a sequence of the naming. And if it's 2 sharp, it's called D, D major. If it's 3 sharp, it's going to be called A major. If it's 4 sharp, the name of the key will be E major. If it's 5 sharps, it is B major. 6 sharps will be F sharp major. 7 sharps will be C sharp major. Now you observe that in all of this, the name of the key is just a tone higher than the very last sharp. Observe, when it was 1 sharp, I said it's G, that is the key, and F to G is just a tone, which is 2 semitones. When it's 2 sharp, we have F and C, that is where it's placed, and the name is D. That means C to D is a tone also. 3 sharp, the last sharp there is G, G to A is a tone. So 4 sharp, the last sharp there is D, D to E is a tone. The same thing with 5 sharps, A to B is a tone. The 6 sharps, E to F sharp is a tone. Remember, E to F is a semitone, but when you now say E to F sharp, it's not a tone. And then when it's 6 sharps, B to C is a semitone, but B to C sharp is a tone. So just a tone difference, you get the name of the sharps, of the sharp and the name of the key. So that brings us to the end of the lesson, construction of scales, the sharp scales. So thank you for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to more lessons that will be coming your way. Bye bye.